Hello, good evening everyone. I am Danny. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from the UK, and this is Friday Night Live. A few minutes late because the orientation doesn't seem to be working, so it's in a portrait mode. Usually I'm in a landscape mode, and I can't seem to fiddle around with the camera so that it's actually appearing in the proper landscape mode. So anyway, we will carry on. So I'm usually live on the first and third Friday of the month after I have a coffee and card morning session in a local coffee shop, and on the Friday Night Live I usually demonstrate the card we have made. So this is the card that we've made this week. Now, usually you have an opportunity to win the card as you like. If you comment, like or share the video, you'll be put into a prize draw, which I do at the end of play on Sunday. So the card will be on the post on Monday. So all the measurements are on my website, and that is dannydesignstudio.co.uk. And let me show you the card. So it's got a little clasp here that I've made, and then you open it up, and it's so difficult to see in a portrait mode, so I'm going to try and show you what I can, because my laptop's not working, so I can't see what you can see. I have to look from my phone. But you can put your little greeting in there if you wish. You can put other things. You could put little gift vouchers or money can go in there. A full sort of bit of money will not, you'd have to fold it slightly, but this goes into an envelope, so that's why it's just slightly shorter than a paper money of such. So it's actually really simple, but very effective, I think. So what you need is this is pecan pie, and basically what we're going to do is use these Stampin' Up spritzers. You get 2 in a pack, very reasonably priced at like £3.75 I think, and you get this little spritzer. You fill this chamber up with water, and you're able to fill it either with inks, you could, or you could fill it up with water. You could fill it up with alcohol, if you're doing a project with alcohol and stuff to blend inks. But this is just filled up with water. That's why pecan pie card. So what I'm going to do is put a bit of kitchen roll underneath, and then I'm just going to spray all over with the water until it is all wet. Turn it on the other side and do the other side as well. So when you're doing this, obviously you're softening all the fibres in the card. So the thing is with that, it's very delicate. You'll see in a minute. So you then, once you wet both sides, you're then going to screw it all up like this, and then open it up, and it's very sort of delicate now, so you can see that it's got to dry. And you then, I've used early espresso and a blending brush, and because I could use pecan pie to put the the brown marks on it, but I think it's quite effective with a darker colour, so that's why I chose Early Espresso. So then I'm just going to colour it all over like this. So apologies that you're not going to be able to see the whole thing. I'm not sure what has happened to my phone. I know I've got fluid on it today, but I'm not sure that is what has happened. It must be possibly something else. So just going to do it all over, and as dark as you would want it. Now I actually do the other side as well. You have to be careful that you don't, you can get sort of fibres on your stamp pad, as well as get just messy really on your fingers. So just do it all over until you're happy. It will dry very quickly in this sort of weather because it's just so hot at the moment. So just keep going. Until you're happy basically. So let's just show you the other side as well. Now you can see this sort of darker patches here. It's just because it needs drying basically. So then you can actually use your heat tool to dry it off. I'm going to put that aside for the moment, and then we're going to go into looking at the inside of the card. So you get a piece of A4 and cut it into the sections of the inside of the card. So let me just show you the card. So you're going to cut these sections. Okay, so that's with the A4 piece of card, and I've pre-done that all here, and that is to go on top of these bits. I have rounded the corners over here. Now we haven't got a corner rounder now in Stampin' Up, but this is an old retired one that I just keep. But if you don't need to round the corners, but I think it just looks quite effective rounding the corners. And what you can do is just put something that is round and then cut around it after you've just drawn on it in pencil or something. So so that's, you've got two inner pockets and then two outer pockets that you need to cut out of the card. So that's the insert. So I'm just going to show you these two. This inner pocket is cut out, a little section is cut out here, only because when we put that on the top like that, it gets very built up and big and thick, because obviously I've got the sort of leather look card on the top as well, so this section gets very thick. So that's why I've just cut out a little corner section. So I'm just going to show you how to do that on the Stampin' Up trimmer. So we'll just, so that's my inner section. So what I've done is I am just measuring it at 1.5, and you can do this with a ruler, but I'm just showing you how to do it on a Stampin' Up trimmer. So then you've got 2.5 there's an inch sort of ruler here, and what I've done is I've gone down to 2.5 here, and this little section here has got a little indentation, a line that you can sort of marry up with the 2.5 measurement, and then I just cut, and that's cut above, and then do the same with this. Go down to the 2.5, marry those two lines up, the indentation on the cutting board thing, and then cut above it. Now, because it's only a little section, I'm just gonna, oh, see, I'm sort of not in camera shot. I'm not used to this. I'm gonna have to look, and then I'm gonna just cut across like that. So I have got my two pieces here. I'm gonna have to look and see what you can see. Very awkward. So then I have got this section here and this section, and that's going to go over that, and that's going to go over that, like that. Okay, I've actually rounded those corners, so what I'll do is just round this corner as well. Try and see it, do it in front of you. There we go. So then the next thing is to try and darken this. I'm going to take my blending brush again and just darken the whole thing to marry it up to the leather look that I've got. You don't need to go all the way down because you're not going to see all of that. Swirling motions. So then this bit as well, and again, don't need to go all the way down because you're not going to see all of it. So apologies for shaking the camera. So you're just building your layers up, and we don't need a lot on this because the leather look is going to go on here, but just in case we can see a little bit of it, I'm just going to darken it. So there we go, we're ready to build our little wallet. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue on here and here, there and there, and making sure that it's flat along this line. Bring it over slightly here because you want this to fold in well, so you'd rather have a gap here than a gap there. So same with the other side. You will see how simple this card is. So again, let me see what you can see. So I'm going to leave that little gap. Try and marry those up so they are level, and then bring this up here. So that, just a little bit of glue at the sides, and you're going to put the leather look on the top. In case I feel you need a proper flat bit of card on here, because if you put the leather look card straight on it, I feel it's not flat enough. If you did have a bit of card, if you had a bit of card tucked in, it's sort of, it's not nice and flat. So then just going to put quite a lot of glue on here, because you've got an uneven surface, so you do need quite a lot of glue. So then, remembering to have it flush under here, and actually running out of glue. Typical, isn't it? Might need to get another bit of glue in a minute. Okay, so just put that on the top. And there we go. So that's your inside of the card. You just have to make sure that you haven't got dirty hands. So this is one I have done earlier. This is all nice and dry, and this will just slot in well. So the measurements again are on my website, and let me just grab another glue. So that is going to go inside here, so I'm just going to put some glue on the back of here. And obviously line that up with your little fold mark, and then press down really well. Like that. It even tears like leather. Now leather would tear like that and you'd get all these little fibres coming up, wouldn't you? So it does change it so much. It's incredible how it changes it. So then you've got this little bit here, and you just judge. There's no measurements as such. I just judged where I wanted it to be. So I've made a little fold. Just going to put a bit of glue on here, and that is going to go on the back like that, and then it's going to come forward. And then I basically cut a little bit. I think it's 1 by 5 centimeters or something. So that's going to hook, that's going to sort of go underneath here. So I just put a little bit of glue at the ends like that, so it's big enough to get through. So, and if you're impatient, you want, when you've made the leather sort of card and you want it fairly straight away, you can just dry it with your heat tool, and it's a very rustic sort of look, isn't it? I think. And then I got a little brad. Well, actually it's not a brad, it's we used to have this punch. It's half an inch, and I kept it. It's retired, and I've just cut one out, but you can cut anything out, a little tiny shape of some sort in black, and then get the rustic metallic adhesive dots, take one of those, put that on the top, and then I put a little mini dimensional underneath, and then pop that on there, and make sure it comes out like that. And then inside you can put some little gift vouchers. They will definitely go in there, but I've cut, I think this is, let me have a look, 10 by 5, and rounded the corners just to go with the actual wallet. And then you can write your little greeting. I have taken the stamp set, which I can't find. Where is it? It is the Sentiment Silhouette Dies and stamp set. It says, wishing you the happiest of birthdays, and you can either do it in brown, or I'm going to do it in black. So it just peeps out the top. I'm just going to stamp it up there. That's that one. And then that one on there, just in Memento Black. So there we go. These can be tucked in here, peeping out, and you can write your little greeting, your personal greeting, in there as well. So there we go. So it's not really that hard, is it? A bit of glue peeking out through there. Let's take that off. So there we go. That's the card. I'm sorry that it's in portrait and not landscape. I'm not sure why, but I'll have to figure that out. Okay, so there is your card. Very simple, but I think quite effective card, isn't it? So don't forget to like or comment. You can watch on replay. I'm sure lots of people are out and about. It's such beautiful weather we're having, aren't we? So until Sunday evening, when I will do the prize draw. So if you like or comment, if you're watching on replay, just let me know. It just helps my reach to go further. That's the whole point of if you like or comment, it just helps it go further in Facebook so other people can see the video. So thank you very much for joining me tonight, and I will upload this to YouTube so you can always catch up on there as well. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.